Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today's video is going to be on contrast paint Bad Moon Yellow. The majority of the contrast paints get darker as you get thicker with them. Bad Moon Yellow doesn't, so in that way it's not a regular contrast paint. We're going to see where we can use it, how we can use it in this video. Contrast paints are fluid, transparent paints that will look different depending on what's underneath them. They were intended to be colored over a light primer like cream, white, or a soft gray. Here I have Wraithbone being colored right now, and after that I'll be coloring Grey Seer. Both of these are quite pale, but if you wanted to add white on top of these in a zenithal style highlight, either through dry brushing or through the airbrush, you'll see that the Bad Moon Yellow gets brighter even further. When applied over Wraithbone, which is a cream color, a warm white, it will look more like a yellow sunflower or tulip color. When applied over a colder color like Grey Seer, it will immediately look less like a sunshiny yellow and more towards green. Even over a silver metal, which is Leadbelcher Spray highlighted by Vallejo Chrome, this yellow will look like a yellow green. Okay, what's my point? My point is that yellow just wants to be green. If you add black to yellow, it becomes green. It's just something you have to contemplate because at some point you're going to be mixing yellow and you want to know what it's going to become, what it wants to become, so that you can actually force it into what you want it to become. As many Orc players already know, yellow can be a pain in the butt to put on evenly. You have to put layer after layer after layer after layer. Particularly if you don't put white underneath first. Now, using an airbrush can make all of that pain go away, but if you don't have an airbrush, or you are only painting a particular area and you haven't sub-assembled to be able to use the airbrush on that piece, you want to use a white or cream underneath. Thankfully, Bad Moon Yellow seems to have sacrificed its potential contrast ability to enhance its coverage ability. Despite its liquid consistency, if applied over white with only one or two coats, you have a very yellow piece. You could leave it there if you wanted it to be a spray painted yellow look, but if you want to shadow it, I'd suggest Nazdrag Yellow. You could use a Yandin Yellow. I'll show you on the other shoulder pad what that looks like, but Nazdrag Yellow's darkest shadows bring it to an orangey brown. That would be what you would want for a yellow shadow. Yandin Yellow, on the other hand, would be good for things like fire salamanders or any other flames, really, because wherever it's thickest, which should be where you have shadow, wherever it's thickest, it's actually bright orange, not a darker yellow. A bright orange does not make a yellow shadow. A dark orange makes a yellow shadow. Nazdrag Yellow makes a dark orange. A Yandin Yellow makes a bright orange. It won't look right if you're trying to make a shadow for yellow. Now, I did say that yellow is also a green, right? Where would I use it? With contrast paints, I would actually put it underneath the green, like on this Kurnoth Hunter. I'm going to apply yellow on all of his leaves and on the vines. Anything that I want it to go green, I will put the yellow on first. Now on his leaves, I will add the new contrast paint Striking Scorpion Green, because when it dries, the raised areas are going to be more yellow, which is what I want, because the raised areas in this case are the edges of a leaf, and generally the edges of a leaf will be thinner than the middle of the leaf, and if it's thinner, it should be more yellow, since light will be able to pass through it more, and generally the light that you're going to be looking at for bright springtime leaves is a nice sunshine. Just really to be different, I'm going to be adding Warp Lightning to his hair. Now this, after it dries, creates a nice deep green for foliage. Which one you prefer is up to you. Me, I think I'd use both of them. For grass, I'd use Warp Lightning for leaves, striking Scorpion's green. And for fun, I just added Badman Yellow directly with Talosar Blue on his blade to see what that was like. We made it a bit more fluid and less contrasty, which I guess makes sense because that's what Bad Moon is. Bad Moon is less contrasty, so I wouldn't necessarily use it that way, though that would work just fine through the airbrush if you wanted to make a green that way. And just to compare these three guys together, this one is Bad Moon Yellow, this one's Imperial Fist, and this one is Iron Jaws. As you can see, Iron Jaws is more mustardy. It has more contrast in the mustard yellow genre. Imperial Fist has a bit of orange already in its shadows, while Bad Moon Yellow doesn't really have shadows. This is over Wraithbone, which shows off the greatest difference between the three of them. All of them over Gracier look fairly similar. They're all greenish. This one being the most yellow. But they're fairly similar. This one not having any shadows. This one looking just like that one, but with shadows. And this one still looking pretty mustard yellow. Bad Moon Yellow is more opaque than the others. Has a very soft yellow going on. It really softened the metal. The Iron Jaws is actually still more golden because it's more reflective. And this one is somewhere in between being less green. Any of these guys would make a decent yellow metallic, but for gold, I think you would just use one of the many really nice golds already out there. If you had any other questions about Bad Moon Yellow or any of the other contrast paints, really, or painting in general, comment below. I'll see about answering them as soon as I can. And I guess I'll catch you in the next video. Bye! On metal in particular, it really is a green. I'm not certain how well the camera picked it up, but it really is a greenish yellow. Probably good for Death Guard and other things ghastly. It would be very nice that way. Something about it that suggests I'm molding.